Hey everybody, welcome back to Chortle Cast. I'm Jake, and with me as always, the Stream King, the Far Cry guy, Deadpan himself, Steven.
Do we need to call me Far Cry guy? Because we're both as much Far Cry guy at this point.
I guess that's true. I guess when I came up with that nickname for you, you were doing a lot of Far Cry, so
a lot of Far
Cry. Make sense anymore.
We need nicknames for you. I feel like I'm getting special treatment when I am a fixation of this channel, much like everybody else.
I am not gonna come up with the nicknames for me, so if you wanna throw some suggestions at me.
The Bow Bro.
I like that. That's a good one.
Okay.
Approved. I'll stamp that. All right. You got any other ones?
I'll work on it.
Okay, all right. I expect more nicknames for me next time. So, but anyway, in case you didn't know, this is ChortleCast, the official podcast of Chortle Games, where we talk about TV shows, movies, anime, TV, video, anything, whatever we want to talk about.
Lots of
Lots of stuff.
Yeah.
And we got a great show for you this week. We're going to be talking about some of that Red Dead Redemption 2 news. We're going to be talking about the Harry Potter leak. Apparently, the PS Plus for November has already been announced for some reason, so that's cool.
That's weird, yeah.
And then we're going to talk about Lilo and Stitch live-action remake, and then we're going to talk about the late Captain America, his final tweet, and what that may entail. So, we're going to have a good show for you. But first, what we always do at the beginning of the show, we do a little catch-up, because we're all friends here, and we like to know what we're playing, what we're watching, what we're doing. So we're going to do that right now. Steven, what you been doing? How you been? How you living?
Well, I've been pretty good. Been busy. If I look like a sweaty, gross mess right now, it's because I've been very busy out and about today.
The same, but I'm wearing some Chortle merch, which you can get at teespring.com/store/Chortle Game Store. And you can be looking fly as hell like me. Hey.
Nice.
You know what I'm
Perfect.
saying?
You did great. That was a great job, Jake.
Sorry, I should have done that earlier, but anyway.
It's fine. I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 15. Lot of it.
Yep.
I beat it in about a week's time. And
That's impressive to me, because you've also done the story DLCs that have come out.
Mm-hmm. All in all, I probably put 40 hours into the game.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Wow. Because it was about an hour and a half per DLC. I think my completion time was a little over 30 hours. And then lately, over the past couple days, I've been playing what I'm here to talk about, and that is Final Fantasy 15 online multiplayer expansion, Comrades.
Right.
That's the whole title. We could just call it Comrades. So shorthand for that's going to be Comrades.
Okay.
So, Comrades is a expansion for Final Fantasy 15 that works like an MMO light, always online mode. Mm-hmm. You can play it solo, but you work in teams of 4. So what I've been doing is I've been playing solo. I've just had bot support helping me through all these missions. But it plays like the regular game does, where you can teleport. You got the same gameplay in the action combat. That's the word I'm looking for. But it's different enough to where it feels unique.
Right.
What it kind of reminded me of is kind of like Monster Hunter meets Dragon's Dogma meets Full Metal Alchemist. Like,
okay,
because the whole concept is there is a time skip in Final Fantasy 15. I'm not going to spoil anything here. No spoilers. Between chapters 13 and 14. Mm-hmm. The Comrades online mode takes place during that time skip. Mm-hmm. So it's filling in the gap, telling the story of the Kingsglaive, so Noctis's elite unit of soldiers, and you are one of them. And it details you basically fighting back the darkness alongside the other hunters. It's a really cool concept, and I say it feels like Full Metal Alchemist because the whole time, and maybe it's because I'm watching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood right now, which I love.
I am too.
But just the coat that I have, the fact that I am like the king's dog of war makes me feel like I'm a state alchemist, especially when I'm throwing ice magic everywhere.
Right.
So that was just one of those cool things where I was like, man, I kind of feel like an alchemist right now. That's cool. But it's really fun. The combat's really cool. Very cinematic, very flashy, but the way you build characters is neat because you've got your place of origin, so your birthplace, and you've got 4 options at first. Mm-hmm. I chose Insomnia, which is where Noctis is from, and because I chose that, I'm a better spellcaster, so I've got higher magic and higher magic points, so more mana, basically. And then as you play the game, you have 4 weapon slots, and you can fill those with any of there's swords, spears, daggers, crossbows, shuriken, shields, and clubs, and you can have any combination of those. And then as you play the game, you get what are called sigils, I think, which
you think?
They give you abilities.
Right.
So, for example, I've got the Oracle Sigil, so my healing ability reaches really far, and I've got higher mana. But there's another sigil you can get
here.
Yes, I want to be able to cast as many spells as possible because mana doesn't only have to do with the spells you cast.
Right.
It also has to do with your teleportation, and I want to teleport as much as possible. Anything that casts a spell that includes blocking because you can put up a force field, you can teleport, you can dash around because I use daggers and shuriken mainly, so I'm very quick, very all over the place. Which I have to be if I'm going to be a healer, because I'm able to dart to allies quickly, get them a quick blink heal, and then give them a big heal with my... and I need high mana to do all that.
Right.
So the Oracle Sigil makes it to where my heal has really good range, and I can use it more because I have more mana. But there's other sigils, like one of them makes it to where your offensive spell turns into you summoning 8 weapons, and you get to grab one and use it. There's another sigil that makes it to where when you use your barricade, instead of just going forward, you make a Ward of Dawn style barricade where it goes all around in a big orb. So there's a lot of stuff that determine play styles. So there's basically 2 things that determine your light class. And there's a lot of missions. Like, I expected it to be something that felt very beta, early access, and it does feel a little early access, just a little bit.
Right.
But there is so much to do because you're constantly going to new areas, and as you go to new areas, you unlock new clothes, new weapons, new places to go, new quests to do. My dude looks freaking awesome. I described it to Anna, my fiance. I described it as he looks like he could equally go hunt a demon as he could go read a book. Because he's got like the gruff beard, you know, but not too gruff. It's well kept. He's got hair that's kind of moved up, and he's got this coat that's like a half-length trench coat that looks awesome.
Yeah.
And he's got like kind of dirt on his face from all the hunts, but he also has glasses and just looks a little nerdy. So it's like, man, what is it? I kind of went for an Ignis style look where there's more to him that meets the eye. Yeah. But the character customization, it's good enough. There's a lot of clothes options.
Right.
There's a lot of little details. It's just one of those things that's like, would I pay $60 for this? No, probably not. But it is really fun for what it is right now.
Good.
And if I could get one other person, hint, hint, to play it with me, that would be awesome, and I would love to stream it.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, okay. Well, I'd like to get it. I've wanted to jump back into that game. As I've said before, I've wanted to play it, but or I have played it and got out of it. That's awesome. Yeah, I was most curious about Comrades when they announced all of that, just because of how is that going to work. But it sounds like they did it beautifully. So.
It's very much. Yeah, because it's got missions that range from like just kill these monsters to defend this base to escort, and I'm only a few hours in. I'm like level 5.
Right.
So there's a lot to do. And the story for Final Fantasy 15 it feels very fragmented, like the main game, but the game is incredible. I can say that after finally playing it, playing all the DLC, I'm very pleased with everything.
I'm encouraged knowing that you beat it so quickly. So I might have
It took me 30 hours.
Well, I know, but still, that's a pretty good time, or a reasonable time sink. But anyway, Well, yeah, Steven, you brought it up. I've been watching a lot of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Very, very good show. Crazy, disturbing at times, but I'm really enjoying it. I look forward to seeing more. I'm about halfway through season 2 at this point. May finish season 2 before I'm back home. But it's good. It's good, and I don't know what the difference is between Brotherhood. As Brody explained it to me, it was just basically they kind of touched up some of the animations and kind of put it all in a better order, or not better order, but like some of the season pacings were weird, and so they've repaced it a little bit. So anyway, regardless, I've enjoyed it, and being able to watch it all on Netflix, you just kind of binge through it all regardless. So I really enjoyed that one. But yeah, that's it for me. I've been playing Destiny, of course, and a little bit of Spider-Man. I'm actually the hotel I'm in. So I've had quite the week. I've been traveling all week. The past 3 days, I've been in a hotel that did not have an HDMI on the TV in the room. So I had to get a little tiny monitor that we're using for some video shoots and use that as my monitor to play Destiny and Spider-Man and some other games. But today we're in a new hotel because it's closer to the airport and we're leaving tomorrow. This hotel has a TV that has HDMI, but do you know what it also doesn't have? It doesn't have the kind of internet that I can connect my PlayStation to. So I'm going to be playing a lot of Spider-Man later on tonight. So, all right, let's talk about some news this week. So, fairly light news week, but we got started with a real hot take because Red Dead 2 announced, or rather revealed their second gameplay trailer. The first one came, almost probably 2 months ago, Steven, would you say? It was a ways back.
I was still at my old job, so it was a while ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. But that first gameplay really talked a lot about the story and kind of who you're going to be meeting and a lot about the world. And I felt like it answered a lot of questions and was really in-depth. But the second one, they were like, in the next one we're going to talk about how the Deadeye system works. And we're going to talk about the missions you'll get to do. And we'll get to talk about all this other stuff. And the video was maybe 3-4 minutes long, but that was it. And it was really fast. Like, I felt like the first one was like 7 or 8 minutes long, and it was like we're looking at every little detail, and here's this and that, and here's this and that. And this was like, you're gonna rob trains, you're gonna steal things, you're gonna do this, you're gonna ride horses, you're gonna take care of your horse. Your horse has realistic ball physics. You're gonna chase these. The Deadeye system is gonna get more intense the longer you play. All this and that, and it's just like, whoa. So I don't know. There was a lot of good bits in there, but they just didn't really like. It felt more like a really fast-paced trailer, a really long trailer versus an in-depth look, kind of like the first one felt. So for me personally, right. I was hoping for more of an in-depth look, but the stuff they showed though looked so good. Like they talked about you have to bathe. They talked about how like mud is going to be a factor and like people are going to react to you differently, but it's like whatever you want to do is fine. Your character's beard grows in real time, like in The Witcher 3. It looks so good, and I'm so excited that we're going to get to play it later this month. Just crazy to think it's that close. But what'd you think? What'd you think of it, Steven?
I haven't watched it.
You haven't watched it? Are you being like a purist and not looking any more into it?
Yeah, kinda. I mean, it's one of those games that I know I'm gonna get it, and I don't know. It's really just because it came and went on a day that I was really busy. Yeah. And I haven't really talked to anyone about it until now, except for what you guys texted back and forth in our group text. Right. So it's really just been more of a I missed it. But at this point, it's like,
we're so close. It's like I'll look into it later. I'll figure it out.
I mean, it's one of those things that I will not seek it out. But if I'm looking on YouTube and it's like, hey, here's this, I'll probably be like, okay, I'll watch it. Yeah. But I'm not gonna intentionally go try to find it.
I understand. try to keep yourself a little pure. Well, it all looked good. The only thing that I left that one being a little concerned about was I remember playing Red Dead 1 or Red Dead Redemption. I remember playing that, trying to be the good guy. I tried to lasso people instead of killing them. I never did any duels until I learned that you could actually shoot the gun out of their hand and have a non-violent end. And I don't remember, like, I never robbed a train or anything like that, which is a part of the game. But this one seems like it's going to be way more involved. Like, you're going to have to rob a train, and you're going to have to rob a bank, and you're going to have to do some other things. And I know, Steven, you and I, not being live, have talked about how they did mention how you're going to see things happen and you have a choice to save a person or just walk off and not care, and that sort of thing. And I love that, and I'm excited about that. But I don't know. Some of the other stuff, I just don't know how that's going to play. Maybe I can be a good outlaw, you know what I mean? Like, I can rob banks, but I cannot kill the people there. And
correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of the story of Red Dead Redemption was John Marston trying to move past his outlaw days.
It was.
Right?
It was.
That is why we can assume it was called Red Dead Redemption.
Right.
If there was not some form of trying to not be a bad guy in this game, would they have called it Red Dead Redemption 2?
That's true. That's true. And see, I kind of wonder if the character we're playing now is kind of the guy who's trying to keep the peace among the gang, you know?
Yeah.
And he's kind of the guy that's in it to take care of everybody and to keep everybody okay and to not let them get out of whack, you know?
Yeah, that's the vibe I've gotten, is that the gang is your family, and anything you do is for them out of necessity.
Right.
And maybe you can make those choices. Maybe you can choose, hey, there's this train. We could hit it, and we could have more supplies for everybody to survive the winter. Right. Or we can try to find them elsewhere. Maybe you make that decision. Yeah. That would be interesting.
Maybe you do. I don't know. Either way.
Who knows?
It's going to be good. It's going to be exciting. And then to top off, I forget what day it actually got announced. Let me look here. I guess it was Tuesday. It was the same day. That night, I guess, would maybe be a better Harry Potter. This video came out of a Harry Potter game. It's open world. People are throwing magic and they're creating
this
characters.
Came out of literally nowhere.
Literally nowhere. And then to top it all off, it's being made by RockSteady. So RockSteady, of course, who did the Batman Arkham series, they did all the main ones. Origins was done by a separate company. But anyway, they were probably on the map already for some other stuff, but like Arkham was like their last big thing that they did. And people have been speculating, like, okay, what are they working on next? And so I've heard people talk about a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game made by them, and there's been a rumor about a Superman game from them.
The latest rumor is that the Superman game could be a Justice League game. Right,
and that would be cool as well. But yeah, so then out of nowhere, this video comes out, and it's this Harry Potter game. I'll try to read. This is coming from IGN. I'll try to read the synopsis about what it was that they were showing. Well, my internet's not going to work, so that's fine. I won't push it. But basically, it's open world. You create your own character. I want to say it's set in the 1800s. You are a fifth-year student at Hogwarts. You got admitted late, but you have a special talent. And I'm not sure if that's going to be like you have an ability. Maybe you're an animagus, which, holy crap, I just thought about this. If you can pick that ability at the beginning, that would be amazing. Oh my gosh, I'm really excited about that now, but I don't know that that's a thing. Anyway, I don't know what the special ability they're talking about is, but you quickly excel, and then it says you're going to start to notice things in the Forbidden Forest, and I'm not sure how it's all going to tie into the rest of the movies. And I assume that that's set before the movies, but it could be something that happens after the main movies, but who knows? But anyway, it looks good. You create your own character. It's open world. The magic looked really cool in like the leaked videos that I saw. If they can get that right, like, and give you a wide variety of spells that are easy to cast and feel natural, this could really be a good game. And Steven, you're not the biggest Harry Potter fan, right?
Nope, but I'm marrying the biggest Harry Potter fan.
Exactly, yeah.
So
yeah. Well,
this is good news for me.
something she'll probably watch and enjoy watching, and maybe even want to play herself.
Yes.
The interesting thing about this, and my brain just flew away. So, Batman was always a huge character, a huge franchise, but really didn't have a lot of big games up until Arkham. Like, Arkham kind of became the new standard of, like, what a superhero game should be. We've had some Harry Potter games, and some would argue some decent ones, but none that
Lego.
just, like, set a standard, It felt very much like a movie game, kind of just something they put together quickly and got out around the time of, release. And I know Steven's going to say the Lego games are good and yada yada, and that's fine. They are. But they're also Lego games, and it's just like, okay, there's a certain...
You say that like it's a bad thing.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's a certain, like... Most Lego games are very similar, you know what I mean? They're a type, they're a genre almost. So, regardless, if RockSteady can do for Harry Potter games what they did for Batman games, that would be awesome. I think that's a perfect marriage of what to do next after Batman. I think that this makes a lot of sense. If it ends up being true. At this point, this is all rumor. There's been no official announcement. There's just been some leaked footage, and RockSteady's name is attached to it. So
videos were getting pulled by WB.
They were getting
interactive,
pulled,
so
right? Yeah.
So that means that it could likely be true. Because if it wasn't real, they would have just made a statement and been like, "Nah, fam, that's not us." But
right.
The fact that they're pulling it makes it look suspect.
Well, I hope at this point that we get an announcement soon, just to kind of placate some of that. But anyway, all right, let's move on. So also out of nowhere today, PlayStation. It's unclear to me if they announced this or if it just leaked somehow really early. But it looks like the PlayStation Plus games for November are going to be Yakuza and Bulletstorm Full Clip. Steven, what do you think about those?
Bulletstorm, I've always wanted to try. It looked like goofy fun. Yakuza, man, I went to college with a guy. His name was Germanique. Was his name
Germanique?
Germanique. He was awesome.
Okay.
People called him Germ.
Okay.
So I was talking to Germ. Like, okay, so whenever I studied for things or did papers or anything, I would go with my friend Richard. We'd find a study room in the dorm where we lived, and we would just go. We would just study. We'd write our papers. We'd help each other out, all that kind of stuff. And one time, this happened a few times, but one time specifically, Germ stopped us and just started talking about Yakuza. And he told me so much about Yakuza, and it was like, it is the greatest series ever. It's got the greatest story, the greatest writing, and just talked so much about Yakuza. And I was like, man, this Yakuza game sounds pretty cool. And next thing I see is this Yakuza game comes out, and I see Donkey do a video on it, and he's like, you can have a chicken be your manager when you were on a bowling team or something. And it's like, is this the same game?
It's very ridiculous.
Yes.
It's one of those that, yeah, like you said, I've heard so many people talk about how great it is and just like all the crazy things that you can do. It seems a lot to me like, Shenmue, whatever the last one was it Shenmue 2 that was the last one? And 3 is what we're waiting on? That one, you have to walk everywhere, and like you have to ask people what time it is, and like you can buy certain foods, and you can put coins and do the little twisty things and get a pop toy or whatever. There's so many like little details like that, and I feel like Yakuza takes that idea and makes it easy, fun, and goes crazy with it. Like just you get food to heal yourself, but like you can eat certain types of food and all this and that, and The fighting looks really good and fun. So I've never gotten it just because I was like, I don't know that I would like this. I don't know that I have time for this. So it being a free game next month sounds great. And then I'm not as familiar with Bulletstorm, but I am imagining like something like I can't think of its name. Enter the Gungeon.
It's
is what I'm imagining.
So my impression of it, it came out, I think, a little bit after Gears of War 3.
Right.
And it's first person, but I always got a Gears of War vibe from it. The main character is voiced by Steve Blum, who Tank Dempsey from Call of Duty Nazi Zombies.
Right.
Amongst other things. He has a very distinctive voice. Also the voice of animated Wolverine in a lot of iterations. He's just got this really gruff voice, and so it's a game about him just killing things in ridiculous creative ways with like some kind of light grappling hook. You can throw people around. You can do drop slides.
Right.
Stab people with your guns. Just all. I watched an old friend play it for a little bit, and I was like, wow, this looks like I would play it for an afternoon, but I don't know what I'd do after that, you know. But if it's free, I mean, I'll play any story game if it's free. So I'll be playing it.
Well,
and if you guys like it enough, I'll stream it.
We'll stream it. That's how it goes. Let us know if you want to see that in the comments. All right, let's talk about something I'm just quite honestly pissed about. Disney announced this week that they're making a live-action version of Lilo and Stitch. For those of you that are maybe new to our channel or just haven't heard this about me yet, I'm number one a huge Disney fan, but that's pretty obvious if you've watched our channel before. But I am really a big fan of Lilo and Stitch. It's one of my favorite Disney movies. When I was a child, I really liked Stitch, and I dressed up as Stitch for Halloween one year. I made my own Stitch costume for Halloween one year. I can do a pretty good Stitch voice. Stitch is one of my favorite Disney characters. Anyway, Lilo and Stitch is a great movie. The sequel is a pretty good movie, and the TV show series was pretty good. They've done a lot in that world and explored a lot of things, but I still think there's more to do. Like there's this one fan pitched story of Lilo is going to college, but she goes to the Space Academy. So like I don't forget what the name of the lady who's like the head alien. But like that lady comes back and is like, we'd like to offer you, Lilo, since you've helped us capture and control all these aliens, we'd like to offer you a position at the class or whatever. And so she goes to join the Space Academy, but because Stitch is banned from, he's exiled to the island of Hawaii or whatever, he has to like figure out a way to get to Lilo up there, and then eventually at the end of the movie his banishment is relinquished, but we'd have this whole universe of like, instead of having an alien on Earth, it would be, what happens when an Earth girl from Hawaii goes to space. Like, I don't know, I feel like there could be a lot of really, really cool stuff they could explore with an adult Lilo, right. And obviously a older Stitch even. There's so much more to do in that universe and that they've set up. And so I just feel like doing a live action version just kind of, I don't know, is stupid and pointless.
Honestly, you'd think that they would do a grown-up Lilo, because that's exactly what they did with Toy Story.
I mean, I think it's the perfect... Yeah. I think Toy Story 3... This would be the Toy Story 3 for the Lilo and
Toy
Stitch
Story
series.
3 was the natural progression, because those of us that grew up with Toy Story watched it when we were really little, watched it when we were kids. We were going to college around the same time. Andy went to college. Mm-hmm. So that would have been perfect, because there's enough of a year separation there that would have resonated with people. But,
absolutely.
I don't know. What if they get Andy Serkis to be Stitch, though? That'd be cool.
God, I mean, that makes the most sense to me. I don't know. there could be some cool things that they did with it. I mean, and I'll be honest, like, I really enjoyed the Beauty and the Beast live action remake. The Cinderella one was okay. Maleficent was a really interesting take from a different angle. That wasn't really a remake so much. I don't consider that a remake. Beauty and the Beast was a really good one. But I don't know. I guess because I see Lilo and Stitch and see where it could go, I'm frustrated that they're doing a remake. Beauty and the Beast, though, that's one that, like, is there more to do in that universe? Maybe, but I don't know that there is. So you doing a remake in live action to make it different.
Everything that made Beauty and the Beast a story is gone by the end of the movie.
Exactly. Yeah, it's very much done
self-contained.
By the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. And then in Lilo and Stitch, I don't think it's that way. I think there's so much more.
No, it's not. Because there's a whole universe of other characters and possibilities out there.
Yeah.
But like with Beauty and the Beast, you've got the curse.
Curse is
and
broken.
That's basically it.
That's it.
The curse is broken. So when the curse is broken,
right.
It's like, okay,
what more do we need?
We're regular people.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I am frustrated with a lot of this remake talk right now, in particular, because we've already got this Avatar: The Last Airbender remake that's coming. Yeah. That, again, I think that's a universe that we could explore more stuff. We could go back in time. We could go forward in time. There's so much more to do in there, and I feel the same way about Lilo and Stitch. So, anyway, just frustrated.
Speaking of live action iterations, even though this doesn't really count as like Star Wars has always been, for the most part, live action.
Yes.
But we did get a title for Jon Favreau's upcoming Star Wars television show.
Yes, and it's got a loose cannon gunslinger is the main character, right?
Yes, I believe so. It's called The Mandalorian.
Yeah,
is what I saw.
Yeah,
which is a big deal because Boba Fett, Jango Fett, Mandalorians. They're the biggest bounty hunters out there. They're like a bounty hunter race, basically. Which is interesting because he said it takes place between episodes 6 and 7.
Okay.
Which is weird because if you're going to do something about the Mandalorians, it should be during the Old Republic, but I'm not going to get into that here. Sorry. I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. At certain, like, I don't know. I'm interested to see. I like Jon Favreau.
I do too.
He did the Iron Man movies. He's great. So I trust him to do something good, and I mean it's got a huge budget. Right. So. I'm excited. I will watch it.
I figured you would really like it because I saw it. The title, obviously, I'm not a big Star Wars guy. The title meant nothing to me, but I saw gunslinger in space, and I was just like, this is what Steven's been wanting for the longest time. Is like Jedi are cool, but I want to see a Han Solo something, and obviously this isn't Han Solo, but like similar idea of gunslinger in space.
I want to see a new space outlaw that isn't Han Solo because there's so many other cool space outlaws in Star Wars.
So I figured that synopsis alone had you excited. So I'm glad to hear I was right. Well, we got some sad-ish news maybe today. Chris Evans, who of course plays Captain America in the Avengers and all the Marvel movies, he tweeted today that he had wrapped shooting Avengers 4, and he said it was emotional to say the least, and then he was like,
pulled up?
It's crazy to play. You got it pulled up?
Yeah, I've got it pulled up. I can read
go
it.
ahead. Why don't you read it? Yeah.
Officially wrapped on Avengers 4, it was an emotional day to say the least. Playing this role over the last 8 years has been an honor. To everyone in front of the camera, behind the camera, and in the audience, thank you for the memories. Eternally grateful.
So what do you make of that, Steven? Because I read that, and I think that he's done.
Yeah, I think we all, for the wide public, that's a story. Because it's like, oh man, that means Captain America's going to die.
Right.
But to those of us that pay way too much attention to contract signings of actors and all this kind of stuff, we're just like, yeah, I saw that coming.
Right.
But that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to die. The popular theory right now is that Iron Man is going to die in Avengers 4 and that Cap is going to get a normal life.
Interesting.
I want that to be wrong. I want it to be
too.
flipped. We know about Captain America that he is the man that can't live without a war.
Right.
And so he needs to go out fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Tony has too much to come home to, which one could argue, yeah, that makes his death hurt that much more. But still, it's smart from a business standpoint for them to be like, we're keeping RDJ on retainer, but have a good reason for him to be retired.
Yeah, yeah. What I think is going to happen is some situation, some moment is going to happen where somebody's going to have to die. I don't know if it's like someone has to stay here to hold this button down while everybody gets out to blow up the whatever. And I feel like Tony is going to volunteer, and then Cap is going to somehow circle back around, save Tony, but he himself die.
My dream for how to end Cap's arc, it's never going to happen. But there's this place in the comics called the Cancerverse.
Okay.
It is basically the negative it's like the Upside Down kind of,
right?
But cosmic, to where the Avengers are evil and they're called the Revengers, I believe, which is funny because that's not what they are in the movies.
Right.
But death is impossible in the Cancerverse.
Interesting.
So in the Guardians of the Galaxy comics, Nova and Star-Lord, this is before they were rebooted with the movies. This was back in 2009, I believe, 2010. Nova and Star-Lord stay behind in the Cancerverse and trap Thanos there, and they're stuck there fighting him.
Interesting.
And they can't get out because the door is sealed.
Right.
So my dream thing for them to do with Cap, and it's never going to happen, is for their solution to be to trap Thanos in the Cancerverse, a place without death. And if you know the Thanos from the comics, that's a huge slap in his face because so they trap Thanos there, and then Cap stays behind, and he's the one responsible for Thanos being stuck, and he breaks the button to get out. And Thanos just stands over him and just gives this intimidating speech of, I'm going to make you wish for the embrace of death, but it will never come. And then Cap's just going to pick up his shield, let out a breath, and just say, I could do this all day. And that's the last we see of him. Trapped there forever, fighting Thanos. So for the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we're watching Peter go through high school, but we know up there in space somewhere, Captain America is still fighting Thanos.
Oh, wow. I like the line that you have put in there, but I don't know that they're going to do a cancer unit.
They would never do that. That's the thing. Like it's too complicated.
Yeah.
It's not as much of a slap in the face of Thanos because death is irrelevant to him.
Right.
Because they went with a different motivation.
The whole death thing isn't as important in this iteration of Thanos as it has been in the past.
But I think that them somehow killing off Cap in a way to where he doesn't die, he's just indefinitely fighting.
Yeah.
The good fight. That's the way to... It's kind of like what they did with Master Chief at the end of Halo 3.
Right.
I always thought that his death was perfect. Because he didn't die. He just froze himself and said, wake me when you need me. So it was killing the unkillable.
Right.
Kind of. And that's what I would like to see from Cap, but I just don't see it happening. Yeah. I think he's just going to get a explosion death. We're not going to see the life leave his eyes. We're just going to see him, and then something's going to explode, and then goodbye, Captain America.
Yeah. I think regardless, though, I think it's going to come down to somebody has to do something to save everyone else, and it's going to be Cap. And I think Tony's going to try to make it him, and then Steve is going to stop him and...
Yeah,
tell him,
it's interesting.
I think they'll have a real heartwarming moment where it's like, they need you, but my time's over. I never belonged here, whatever. Yeah,
I could see them doing something like, they said in Avengers 1, you're not the kind of guy to make the sacrificial play, lay down your life for the others. I think it would be cool if it was in a moment where Tony was like, no, I'm staying behind, and then Steve just kind of puts his hand on the button instead and just basically says something along the lines of, you were right, you've done enough, that kind of thing. Give a proper send-off of, you've proved yourself.
Right.
They need you more than they need me, like you said, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know. it could go either way, but I'm just going to be surprised if neither of them dies. I'm going to be a little disappointed too.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be disappointed if they don't die and then Chris Evans or Robert Downey are done. I don't think Robert Downey's ready to walk out. I think Chris Evans may be.
Yep.
And
I think he is.
So you were talking about contracts. Apparently, Sebastian Stan, who is the Winter Soldier. He has more contracts than...
He has like 5 movies left.
Yeah. So it would make sense, especially there's definitely precedent for this in the comics where Cap dies and Winter Soldier becomes the new Cap. So I don't know if they're going to take it that direction or not, but I will be upset if Chris Evans is gone, but they didn't kill Cap. They didn't give him a proper... Some sort of
that
proper,
would just,
this character is done.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a proper bookend.
Yeah.
And maybe if they did something like time travel where they took him, he got stuck in the past, but he actually was able to find Peggy for their dance, something like that.
Yeah, I could live
maybe,
with that.
But,
I could live with that. That would be good if he did end up back in the past and was done. But that would be interesting, because what implications does that have for the... Oh, what if... This would be kind of interesting. What if they did do that, and then old man Steve is in the present now, but they get a different actor to play him?
Get like Ron Perlman to play new Captain America or something. Well, it's interesting because I've talked with my friend Eric, and I know we're probably talking about the MCU. I mean, get us talking about the MCU, and we'll talk about it for an entire podcast. But... he has said that he does not want everything to be just magicked away.
Right. Oh, yeah.
To where we undo the events of Thanos. So what my thing has been, I think they're going to do more of a Flashpoint reboot, where time was fixed, the problem was solved, but they created a whole new mess of problems or consequences.
Yep.
So what if in that end, what if sending Cap back in time altered the timeline? Mm-hmm. And that gave us the differences that butterfly effect, all that stuff. So what if somehow Cap going back in time and being stuck there created the mutants or whatever else? I don't know. Yeah. Just something that, because they are perfectly positioned right now with Avengers 4 to create the new chapter of the face of the MCU and do a soft reboot. That they won't have this opportunity again to do it as clean as they would.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So they need to take advantage of that.
I agree with all of that. I don't think everything will be fixed in a nice tidy bow. I think it will be very different and
Thanos will be dealt with, but there will be
consequences and changes.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey everybody, thank you for watching this episode of ChortleCast. We do hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, there's a couple things you can do to help us out. Number one, if you're watching on YouTube, you're already at ChortleGames.com, and you can leave a like on this video, you can share it with your friends, and you can also leave a comment and let us know what you thought about all these topics. You excited for Red Dead? Do you want to play this Harry Potter game? Do you think Cap is really going to die? Just whatever you think, let us know in the comments. If you're an audio listener, you're probably listening through iTunes. We appreciate you. We'd love it if you'd leave us a review. That really helps people find the channel, find the podcast, and so more people will listen to it. So we'd appreciate that. And then this is supposed to be a community channel, podcast. So if you have a news story you'd like to hear us talk about or a topic you'd like to hear us talk about, you can send that to us at ChortleCast@gmail.com. And you can also join our Discord, which you can find the link in the description of this video or on our channel banner. You can go there. We've got a special channel set up for podcast questions or topics that we'd like people to hear us talk about. So you can go there, do that. Of course, we have a Discord, so we'd love you to join that either way. And then you can also follow us at Twitter on Chortle Games on Twitter at Chortle Games, and then also on Facebook at Chortle Games. So, Steven, thank you for being on. Thank you for doing this. It's nice that we can do the podcast even when I'm on the road and make it work. So I appreciate you being able to work through all that.
Yeah. I'm glad I could fit it in between gorging myself with chicken
and playing Metro.
and playing Metro, which is what I'm about to do.
Yeah, so anyway, we've got a great schedule for you. Of course, October, spooky month. This past week we've done our first 2 horror Let's Plays. We got some more coming down the pipe, but also Steven is doing a lot of live streaming of Metro and probably going to do some other things. But that's not all the scary stuff we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing a little bit more. So this next week, actually, the end of the podcast airs Friday at 12 o'clock Central Time. We're going to be doing 2 live streams later tonight. One of them is going to be Dead by Daylight. One of them is going to be Until Dawn, which I'm going to be playing. Lee Allison might be there with me. But I've never played it before. I watched some not Let's Plays, but I've watched some playthroughs of it. But there are so many choices and so many different directions you can take. And at this point, it's a game that's 2 or 3 years old, so I have completely forgotten most of the things that happen. And I never really fully understood what decisions were affecting what. So anyway, I'm going to see it. If you've watched our other Let's Plays this week, you know I get easily spooked. So it should be entertaining to watch. And then, Steven, are you going to play some more Metro Friday, you think, tonight?
Either Metro or Division with Jeremy from 8-Bit Gamesters.
Okay, great. And then Saturday, we're going to be trying to play Dead by Daylight again with Friendly Fire Games. We may do some Killing Floor, but either way, we're going to have 2 live streams on Saturday. We're going to try to keep them spooky, so be sure to tune in for that. Also, next week, we're going to have a lot of fun stuff going on. The first Monday, we have Let's Plays. Super Mario Party came out this past Friday, so we're going to have a Super Mario Party Let's Play. It is not going to be spooky. I apologize, but it is going to be funny, and it's going to be entertaining. On Tuesday, but to make up for the not spooky Let's Play, Steven is going to be continuing his Let's Play, or live stream of Metro. So you're going to want to tune in for that Monday night.
Metro Mondays are tentatively happening. If something comes up, because I normally don't stream on a Monday, then I'll have to cancel, but that'll be put in the Discord with plenty of time of notice. But every Monday, that's the plan.
That's the plan.
For October.
Then Tuesday, we do Team Up Tuesday, so we'll still be playing some Destiny. Hopefully, though, by Tuesday, they may have started the Festival for the Lost Souls. They got to get started on that soon if we're going to have time to play it. So we'll see how that goes. Then Wednesday, we have a very special Let's Play. It's going to be me playing Where They Lie, which is this spooky VR game. So if you thought I got spooked at Hello Neighbor, just wait till you put me in a VR headset and throw demon monsters at me. So
is that the one I was there for? Or
yes,
is this a different
Steven,
one?
it was the one you were there for.
Oh, God.
The one that I was doing the intro and something spooked me so hard. Anyway, it's going to be great. Just go watch it. And then, of course, Thursday, Steven will be doing hopefully some more Metro, doing some of that. And then we'll have another podcast on Friday. We will be doing the Zur live stream, so if you're watching this today, we've already done one for this week. But next week we'll be doing one of those. We'll have another podcast, and then we'll have 2 more live streams on Friday and 2 more live streams on Saturday. So a lot of stuff going on. Not as crazy as we used to be in October, but we're keeping it fresh. We're keeping it real. So
it's a little crazier for me than the average month. Because I thought about it tonight, and I was like, I have to finish both Metro games in this month.
You should have settled for one and just done the one.
You got to do them both. They're a complete story. You got to do them both.
Okay, well, good luck with that. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. We will see you next time.